Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm just out here in my yard puttering with my cars, which is what I love to do the most. Just been doing various oil changes. I got the oil change done on this car. I just did the oil change on the Marauder. A couple days ago I did the Tacoma and the Civic. Right now the oil is draining on the Comet. I'm changing the oil in the old Comet as well. But what I want to focus on today most is my 1996 F-150, my latest acquisition. What I want to do today is I want to change the oil and filter on this truck. I also want to change the coolant. This is a bit of an unknown vehicle to me. I just picked this up, and when I get a vehicle I like to just kind of have a peek at it and change all the fluids anyway. So I haven't owned this style of truck, since the mid-90s, maybe even late 90s. So I'm going to take you along and I'm going to do an oil change and change the coolant. See what comes out of there. There's nothing really exciting about an oil change. I mean, it's pretty simple, straightforward. If anybody followed me, well, I picked up this car when it was a carcass. I pretty much did everything to this car, so showing an oil change would be kind of pointless. I've already shown the oil change on the Corvette in previous videos. Same as pretty much all of my other cars. This one here, been a long time. I want to see what's in there. I want to also have a little bit of a closer look underneath maybe. I see little puddles in there, so obviously this truck has some little leaks here and there, so let's take a closer look at this one. Okay, oil change on the Comet's done. It's running pretty good. She's a little on the smoky side. A little bit of smoke right there. I spilled some oil in the manifold there, but other than that, running not too bad. The old 302's turning over, not too bad, really. I'll take it. All right, on to the F-150 now. All right, I've had this truck running for a bit. Let's take a look at this oil. Okay, not off to a very good start here. How's that spinning? Okay. Righto. Well, she is 28 years old anyway. Okay. Yeah, the cap is cracked off. I mean, a modern day classic like this is there's still some plastics in here, so here's my cap, broken, but it'll still plug the hole. Well, that looks nice and clean. It looks nice and clean in there. Okay, we gotta get a cap, but no big deal. How about in here? What's that look like? That looks clear, actually. So the previous owner, I can't remember exactly what he said. It looks like this oil's been changed very recently, but I'm going to do it anyway. It never hurts. We'll consider his oil change a flush. All right, let's get underneath, find the pan, find the plug, figure out what size we need for a wrench. Okay, well, I'm underneath the truck looking at the oil pan. It's a little bit greasy, so it looks like it's leaking ever so slightly. I can live with that, I think. The steering box also on the wet side, but no major drips or nothing. Now right up in there, the power steering, that is quite slick. So I wouldn't be surprised if you'd have to top up the power steering as you go. But that's okay right now. Not too worried about that. There is my oil pan. There's my drain plug. It's a 16 millimeter. So let's get a wrench on there. Let's drain down this oil. Okay, that was not on too tight. Alright, let's get the pan under there. Yeah, I don't think that oil is very old at all, but so be it. Okay, let's let this drain down. Here's the drain plug. Spotless, actually. I'll take it. All right. Well, while that oil is draining, let's check on this power steering. I was just talking about that. You can see, I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit discolored, so it's not like it's fully fresh. So maybe it's not leaking as bad as I think. That's something we'll look at in the future. All right, let's get the plug back in and top this up with oil. Alrighty, well, before I dump that oil in, let's change the filter. And I went with the gold brand filter from Napa, kind of the middle of the road type of a filter. I tend to stay away from the $5 filters. I don't think they have enough filtration material in them. And the $30 or $40 filters, I think you're just getting ripped off. So this is kind of a middle of the road, I think $16, $18, something like that. And look at the location of this filter. Absolutely fantastic. Talk about easy access. Anyway, one of the reasons why I like this truck so much. A brand new F-150, you work on the engine, you have to bring it into the dealer, and in a lot of cases, they literally lift the cab off the truck. To me, that is insanity. I mean, okay, so be it. The brand new truck's got 400 horsepower, and this one's got, I don't know, 180. Big whoop. I can do a lot of the stuff myself on here. A lot of the stuff is easy access. And, you know, sometimes I feel with the technology, sometimes I feel like we're going backwards. Anyway, enough of my rant. I'm going to swap out filters and throw this oil in. All right. Filters in place. Just going to use some conventional motor oil. All right, well, you get the idea on this one. All right, I got about 5.5 liters in there. I think that's about right. She's nice and clear, and she's right on the mark. I ran the engine a little bit, so that's good. Happy with that. And I'll put my broken cap back on, and let's look at draining this coolant now. I'll have to get one of them. All right, let's figure out this coolant. Okay, so an older fashioned radiator like this, it does actually have a cap. Now this is, I can feel it's still warm, so I'm gonna leave that alone right now. There's a expansion tank here, overflow. So let's take a look at that. That looks hard to see in there. It looks kind of murky in there. But anyway, it might be, sometimes these things look worse than what they are. Yeah, a little bit hard to say really. Anyway, mostly because I don't know I don't know the state of this, and this truck came from British Columbia, so that's a very warm province compared to where I live, so I don't want any risk of freezing or anything like that, so I'm going to put in some green antifreeze. I got some concentrate, and then I'm going to add some water, make it a 50-50 mix, which should be good for our climate. Now, I was poking around a little bit. It looks like just down here, I don't know if I can point to it. Looks like a little tap down here, and there's a little what looks like a spigot. So if I can get this open, we can drain the radiator and the expansion tank. Now, we're probably not going to get it all. There'll be some left in the block. I'm going to try to do it without pulling any hoses. I'm not going to disturb those if I don't have to. And like I said, they're still a little bit warm, so I'm going to start with that valve, see if I can even budge it, and then see how much of this stuff we can drain. Also, the under the hood light still works, so pretty impressed with that. All right, well, I put a pair of pliers on this plug, and I was able to turn it and get it started. I put a little piece of rubber hose at the end of the spigot, try to minimize the mess. Although I'm an extremely messy worker, I try a little bit. So yeah, I can hear it coming out, so let's see what it looks like when it first comes out. If it's murky, then we're doing the right thing. Okay, it's coming. Let's gonna take the radiator cap off, see if I can speed this up a bit. There. That is not looking great. I think it was a good call. Pretty murky. Yeah, that is definitely not green. Dang. That's been in there a while. I might even run a little extra water in there to give it a flush. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm dumping extra water down the radiator and down the overflow tank to try to flush out some of this junk. And I've even had to, I had to let go of the small line. The small line that's at the bottom of the expansion tank. It ties into here. I let that one go in order to drain this, and what's coming out is not nice. Now, what you see here, I use this for an oil change. So the sheen of oil has got nothing to do with what's in my radiator. That's what's in my radiator and my block, and that's what was in the expansion tank. So I'm gonna do a little bit more. Pure water now. And get the muck out of there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to hook up the garden hose or anything like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just flush this, and then I'm going to top the system up and use the truck for a bit, and then I'm going to, well, probably the next few months, maybe next season, 'cause I probably will put this truck away for the winter. Next season, what I'll do is I will do I'll do this process all over again. It's just hasn't been done in so long, and I'm gonna run out of room here. Yeah, nasty. All right, let's get our little hose back in place here. Put this back on. And let's top this up with some coolant. We'll run the engine, and then, like I said, we'll have to repeat this process in the future. All right, I'm going to be using this Prestone multi-vehicle. This is concentrate, so I'm going to mix it with water. And it says on here, 10 years or 500,000 kilometers. That's just ridiculous. 10 years? This stuff here is probably 10 years old. That to me is completely unfit. All right, let's dump this in and mix it with water. We'll run the truck up, and yeah, it's definitely an improvement here. Okay, that was one of each jug. I'm going to, so I got everything filled now, 50-50. This is still empty. I'm going to start the truck now and get this circulating a bit. Let's put our heat on. We'll get that opened up and get that flowing. Okay, let's do the final top up. So again, thanks for joining me on this one. Just look how nasty that is. So I guess maybe it's something that gets overlooked. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll catch you in the next video. Enough work for one day. I'm gonna tidy this up, and then it'll be time to go for a Corvette ride. It's a beautiful day out there.